Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name is Reb and we are going to be looking through my recently completed sketchbook. I am not going to go through every page. There are too many of them. And honestly, there's a lot of just very unfinished sketches in here. So we'll be kind of breezing through a couple of them. But I did go ahead and just kind of highlight a couple that I really wanted to talk about. And yeah, let's just jump in. I think I've talked about the stickers on this sketchbook a couple of times, but I will put, names here so that you guys can see them. These are the ones on the front. And then a couple on the back that one is from a coffee shop and the other one is just like an actual drawing. So nothing that you can purchase or find. All right, let's jump in. I just realized that I never put my contact information in here, so I guess I don't have to blur that out. I do have a little emotional support sketchbook sticker. That one is actually mine. This is some washi tape from Melissa Martin. She just sent me a little surprise package. That was so kind of her, and the washi tape was so pretty in it, so I stuck it in here. First page is a self-portrait. I tried to start my sketchbooks with a self-portrait. I don't remember who did that, but I thought that was such a great idea. So I did a self-portrait. It's not great, but I will credit myself because I did this in brush pen without doing any like pencil outline or anything like that. I just went straight in with the brush pen. So I thought that I did a pretty good job considering that. I went to exhibition at the Fine Arts Museum. It was a ceramics exhibition. I drew a couple of the figures from that, and that was a really great exhibition, actually. Just random sketches of ideas. This one I turned into a little sticker. This one I made a video about, but basically it's just a kind of color study / preliminary sketch. More silly sticker ideas. I need to go back and do this one actually because I really like it. Just like random drawings. I really like camping, so I drew some camping related things. Weird body parts, don't ask why. These are a couple sketches from the show Severance, which, by the way, if you've never seen it, it is a great show. I highly recommend it. A couple little random things that I wanted to draw in this color. You'll see more about this later. Ooh, terrible drawing. Skip right over that one. These are from Hippo's live stream. Hippo does a live stream every Sunday at, well, I don't know what time, 11 a.m. my time. I'm not sure what her time. But she picks great references. And then this one is from an Instagram page called the Botanica Collective. They also have fantastic references. I really like the way this drawing came out. It's a little bit looser. There was some kind of spreading of the ink, and I thought that the colors were really pretty. Debbie Draws Funny drawing session where we drew people's pets with human clothing. I really love this little Prince Poodle. Amazing. So I did want to talk about this one. Obviously I like these drawings. I think they came out great. They are Prismacolor scenes from Severance. Again, like I said, I really like that show. But the reason I wanted to talk about them is because we're not going to see more of this in the sketchbook. As I was kind of working on them and finishing them up, I really felt like it was kind of pointless to put something so finished in a sketchbook. Like to spend so much time on something that really like no one would see, or I don't know, it just I don't want to spend this much time working on drawings in my sketchbook. I think I just prefer to use my sketchbook in a different way. That being said, the drawings themselves were really fun to do, very challenging. Skin tones are tough under normal circumstances, and these were like through the lens of like a stylized aesthetic like TV show. So yeah, but very, very fun to work on, and again, very good show. More Botanica Collective reference. These I drew from life. These are sad houseplants, one at my doctor's house and the others are mine. I got some oil pastels. I found some oil pastels in my studio and did these initial kind of drawings. And I don't hate them. They're just little sketches and I think they came out pretty cute. Nothing over here. These were from a Debbie Draws Funny. No, this is an art hang party, I think, where we drew people in bird costumes. Silly sketches. I was apparently in a mood. These are random street view. Ooh, terrible legs. Some green things. I don't know. I know I just drew things that were green or had this like specific colors combination. This one is from a Debbie Draws Funny, I think, vintage Valentine's Day cards or unhinged Valentine's Day cards. I'd definitely say unhinged. This was a swatching session that I did for a birthday haul. I ended up getting myself some Tombos and this Kohinoor Magic pencil lead, which I really do like this. I ended up using this over the next couple of pages, just doing some landscapes. I drew some birds. I really like how this one came out. The colors obviously are all off, but I really like the variety that you got here. And I really like the tree trunk as well. More colored pencil. This one is done with the Tombow markers. I also really love this little guy. He's very cute. This is another rainbow pencil, a different rainbow pencil here. I don't know why I skipped this page, but this is Tombow marker as well. This one was actually pretty fun. A little bit more finished than most of the other stuff in here, but I really like the layering that I did with the Tombows. This is another Hippo live stream. She picks like the best references, and everything looks so good together on this page. I especially love this little guy here. Oh, so cute. This was a little kind of preliminary sketch for a little painting that I did. Some ideas that I still kind of want to explore, actually. So I'll definitely go back to those. Bird drawings. I actually pasted this one in here. I drew it on some scrap paper and I liked it. So more rainbow pencil. This spread here is from an art date that I went on. I think I made a video about this, so I won't go into super depth with it, but it was basically about Fauvism. So I did some sketching from the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, and then went on to do like a preliminary sketch for a painting that I did during the art workshop. That was a really fun day. Random people. A Hippo live stream. I didn't get much done on this one, but I really like this hands with the blue. I think that the blue looks really good with the softer colors. These are some little sketches from a Ikebana workshop that I attended. A little day at the park. My son was eating snacks on both of these drawings, so I actually was able to get a little bit of him down. Usually he's just a toddler blur, but yeah, he sat still for a bit, so I got to draw him. That was a really fun day. This was an art hang party where we were doing master studies. I was working in some cheap markers, so the drawings aren't very good, but I think they're pretty effective considering what I was working with. This was another of the master studies, and then this one, I'm not sure why I drew art supplies. I think it was part of some challenge or something. I honestly can't even tell if these are my art supplies. I do own all of these things, except for the art craft, so that's where the mystery comes in. Some sketches for sticker design. I ended up going with this one, even though I really like all of the others. I may just need to go back and do some of these others as well and make a set. Maybe it needs to be like a sticker sheet. I don't know. Tell me if you want a sticker sheet. Another Hippo live session. This one was Poland. I ended up doing the whole thing in pencil, and I really actually like how these came out, especially this one. And it was really cool because it just so happened that this artist had an opening at my local museum, like, I think it was like the same day that we did this. So it was pretty neat to see this painting in real life. It's stunning. Just some random drawings. This was a Debbie Draws Funny drawing session. It's very silly. I don't know why, but this one is everything. It's everything. Some swatching. I think this was actually a Scribble Brigade session, but I didn't actually finish it, which I need to because it was a really good concept. I just wasn't feeling it that day. Some not so great watercolor sketches. More silly fish. Another Hippo live session. This one was for aquatic plants, which I really like how this whole like spread turned out. I ended up taking this drawing style into my like daily journal, which is here. And yeah, I really like how this drawing style looks. So we're trying something else out this month, but I may go back to this. All right. Just some thumbnails and little drawings for a bigger work that I was working on. I ended up going more with this kind of layout here. And I made a lino cut print, which, by the way, is available in my shop if you are interested. This was a really fun project. I made a whole video about it, so I won't go into depth here. But basically, it's like a jigsaw cut print with 2 colors. So, sticker ideas. Some of my pages are stuck together on purpose. I have some stuff that I'm kind of like currently working through that I don't necessarily want to show yet. Not because they're terrible drawings or anything like that. I just probably will make a future video or something about them. This was an odd orange sketching session. Oh, you guys probably can't even see this. The lighting is terrible here right now. But these sketches are very light. I did these very fast because I was watching a toddler while drawing, basically. Art hang party session. This was macro photography. More macro photography. Some random trees that I think I drew while I was driving, maybe. This was a fun one. This was color week. Teresa picked out some beautiful colors, and I matched those colors with my Neo colors and did these little mushroom drawings. This was a little sketch that I did on a camping trip. Obviously, my son didn't sit here for the whole thing. I drew it from reference, but it was a really fun trip, and I really like how the colored pencil looks in this little sketch. This is a future project. This is the starter pack, the 100-day project edition that I made, a digital version of that. I really like how it came out. It's very silly. Sticker idea, museum, one of the museum buildings that I sketched here. Hippo live session. This one was Belgium. Really like how this entire spread came out. This was a mix between the Sailor Fude pen, and then I went over it with some neon oil pastel, and I really like the limited palette. I continued to use those for this little drawing session. This was a Debbie Draws Funny drawing session where we drew some crazy fashion people. Very, very odd outfit choices for sure. These were some drawings from an event called Fluorescence. These are floral arrangements. This is a very messy sketch. Let's see, you can see. It's hard to see because sometimes I just draw in pencil and I have a kind of light hand. But basically, I had this idea that I wanted to make a zine about the things that my dog brings me. And I actually did it. It's right here. And I thought that it came out really cute, considering that I have very limited experience making zines. So more on this later, but just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek about it. This is where I was kind of working out the different pages, some of the different drawings, some of the text, and what I wanted to use to actually make the zine. So random sketches. This was a swatch page from all the stuff that Olinda sent me. Olinda from Olinda's Artistic Oddities. She sent me a surprise package in the mail that had so many things in it that I have been using a lot of actually lately, especially these Derwent Inktense pencils. I've been using those like crazy. Sketches for an idea that I was going to potentially do for an art swap, but I ended up going with something else. More swatches. This was an art hang party session, but I do not remember what the theme was. But I do like the way that this came out, especially this one. It's very kind of loose and sketchy. I was using those Derwent Inktense pencils, and I wasn't really quite sure how to use them at this point, but I really like the texture that it gives. So happy about that. Some coffee shop sketches. This was an art hang party, procession of species. It was like a parade where people dressed up, and the costumes were just amazing. These are some kind of terrible sketches with a brush pen. I had just gotten this Sennelier brush pen set from Michael's. It was on clearance, so I couldn't resist picking it up. And they're actually really cool, a little bit hard to control. I don't know if I'm going to do a whole review here, but basically sometimes the ink comes out a little heavier than you want it to. But overall, I really do like them. I continued to use that for this sketch here. Nobody judged me, but I was driving and I saw this cloud that looked like it was sitting on a power line, and I don't know, I just had to sketch it out really quick while I was driving, not looking. I didn't take my eyes off the road. And then I did a little bit more of a sketch of it here, and then I was kind of tinkering with some other ideas. But this one is actually one that I'm currently working on doing a painting of. This was a day that I met up with Olinda and her family. This was our first visit, and then this was the second one, but I mixed them both on this page. because I ended up having some space left over from the initial drawings. But yeah, it was really fun. We went to the museum. We saw this exhibition. I drew her daughter in the exhibition. This is me and Olinda in front of this painting that she really liked. And then we went to the coffee shop and we drew each other. She drew me with Orion sitting on my shoulder because he fell asleep so hard at that coffee shop. So that was a really fun day. Just some like little random sketches. These were sketches for the art swap that we did. I ended up drawing this spider that lived in my doorway as basically Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball style. So just very silly. These are some just like random sketches. Again, I drew this chicken and I really liked the like texture pattern that I ended up using on it. I had drawn it on some scrap paper, so I just like stuck it in here. This was from a Monkey Mintaka session where she had people tell her what animals to draw. I suggested this one, which is an eye, and I regret everything. I don't know what an eye looks like. I just know that it is a weird animal with like one long finger. So this was my interpretation from memory, basically. Hers was even worse because she didn't even know what it was. I think more from that session. A couple more things in here that I'm currently working on. This one, these are some sticker ideas that I'm kind of working on right now, but I did end up making one of them so far, and I thought it came out really cute. This is a little plant. I think it grows probably everywhere, but I see it a lot in our field. And it's a really cool plant. When you touch it, it closes, like it's touch sensitive. And I looked it up because I was always curious as to what it was called, and it's called the sensitive plant. So I did this little sensitive sticker. Art hang party. I only got to do 2 of these, but this was a really cool session. I may go back and do some of the replay for this one. But it was basically one color for each subject. Random sketches. I tried to draw at the beach, but it was like super humid and windy, so my material was like not cooperating at all. Some random drawings of the sky. This looked really weird, but the clouds actually looked kind of like this. It was like super, I don't know, contrast to the sky. Like it was very orange and pink and purple against this like super blue sky, which is really neat. This is a little eggplant. I did this one in alcohol marker and then drew over it in colored pencil. And I like the combination of the two things. However, I remembered why I don't use alcohol marker in my sketchbook. It's because it bleeds through so bad. So I ended up pasting over. I did a bunch of little swatches and stuff on some scrap paper, and I just pasted them in here. I actually really like how this little sky looks. So may explore that a little bit later. And I think this is the last spread. This was a little study for a project that I'm working on currently. The project that I'm working on won't necessarily have this in there, but I just wanted to kind of study the structure of the flower a little bit. And yeah, so that's kind of the whole sketchbook. I've got 2 more sketchbooks that I'm starting. I was trying to decide between 2 sizes, and I ended up not being able to decide. So I said, I'm going to use both. I'll put a little time lapse of me putting the stickers on the sketchbooks, but I just kind of wanted to think about the sketchbook. I've been working on it for a pretty long time, since the beginning of the year, and I feel like I learned a lot from this sketchbook. I feel like I learned how I like to use my sketchbooks. I like to use them to like ideate and plan rather than like creating like real finished works. Also, I feel like I really want to have a dedicated sketchbook for like art hang party, weirdo drawing club, live sessions, things like that. Not because I don't want those in my sketchbook. I just think that those sessions serve like a different purpose for me. And I want my sketchbook to be like less broken up by them. I want to see like how my ideas kind of develop through the sketchbook a little bit better. And my drawing style for those sessions always varies so much. So I think I'm going to have like a little bit of like a different setup for my next sketchbook. Some things that I really loved about the sketchbook was that I feel like I was a little bit more carefree and loose with my drawings. I spent a lot more time like doing thumbnails and like hashing out ideas and color studies and stuff like that. I actually am very proud that I made so many like finished artworks from the ideas in the sketchbook. And I feel like I got to explore quite a few more mediums that I did in my previous ones. So I think the things that I want to take into my next sketchbook is going to be like more of the like planning and detailed studies and working out a piece before taking it to like canvas or block or whatever. I want to play a little bit more with the mixing of the mediums. I really like some artists that like layer different mediums, and I want to explore that a little bit more. I want to create like more palettes that I really enjoy and use on like a more regular basis. I want to try to do a little bit more storytelling with my sketches. I want things to have a little bit more of a backstory or elaborate a little bit more on the like emotions and ideas behind the work. And then the one thing that I barely did in here, but that I'd like to do more, is I think I want to add some more like collaged elements. Not necessarily like collaged as in making work, that is collaged or art that is collaged, but like things that inspire me or, just like a jumping off point. I think that not every idea has to be like straight out of your head. Like you can have a jumping off point, you can have some inspiration. So I think I want to add, like pictures and, drawings of, other artists that I like, or Shar did a whole like she did a whole series of drawings of like, she took a painting and used that color palette to make something completely different, which I thought was a really great idea. So things like that. I think I want to explore stuff like that a little bit more in my coming sketchbook. I wrote down some of these goals on a separate piece of paper that I'll paste into my new sketchbook when I start it. So that is the tour. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I know that this one was a little bit long. If you have any questions about any of the drawings that I kind of breezed through, by all means, just mention it in the comments and I will be happy to elaborate. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe if you like this content and want to see more. Don't forget to hit the like button. That really helps my channel. And if you are interested in some of these items that I talked about, they are available in my shop. So check those out as well. I will link all the channels that I mentioned and my shop in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.